Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have done it again, guys. I am sorry. I've changed my name again. I'm going to go by Fuller Reads. Just easier for me. Not that my book recommendations was hard, but Fuller Reads to me just rolls off the tongue a little bit better. So Fuller Reads it is. So thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody who's watched this. So before I get started on this book review, which will be Only the Dead by Jack Carr, I'm doing something I never thought I was going to do. I got an Audible account. I was big into listening to podcasts, and there's still a couple of podcasts that I'm going to listen to no matter what. My favorite, if I could only listen to one podcast for the rest of my life, would be Bear Grease podcast. It's under the Meat Eater umbrella, so it's a hunting and fishing show, but it's a documentary style podcast about rural America, Americana, the hunting culture. I mean, they've done a series on Osceola. They've done series on Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, Holt Collier. I mean, just the inside stories of some famous people and just regular people too. So it's beautifully done, put together great. It's by far my favorite. So if that any kind of interest you, check out the Bear Grease podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Little plug. I love it. It's great. But I'm going to listen to Audible. All right. Right now I'm listening to The Real Anthony Fauci by Robert Kennedy Jr. I finished reading it, and I thought, well, maybe I can kind of compare, the two between reading it and listening to it, and which one I like more. I mainly read at work. Don't tell my boss. Or if I'm out walking or something like that. So the only thing I'm really worried about is, sometimes my mind will wander. I don't know if yours does, but I won't really be paying attention to what I'm listening to. And it's the same with the podcast and same with the music. But we're going to see. We're going to see how that goes. And I'll do a video telling you what I think about Audible. Just me, not, good or bad or whatever. Just what I think about it. And the Real Anthony Fauci review will be coming here in the next 2 or 3. I'm like 3 books behind on doing these reviews. But right now we're going to talk about Jack Carr's Only the Dead. It is the 6th book in the Terminal List series. And I've said it in these other reviews and summaries that Jack Carr is right now, he's my favorite author. He's got 7 of these Terminal List series. 8th will be released in June. And he does nonfiction that what I'm reading now is Targeted Beirut. And apparently that's going to be a series, if I read that right, he's going to take different terrorist attacks, military exercises, military. I've never been in the military, so he's going to take different parts of the military campaigns and stuff like that. I'll get it out eventually. He'll take military campaigns and start talking about that. So I'm looking forward to those too. But I'm reading Targeted Beirut. Jack Carr is amazing. I mean, you get these books that based off one character, and they kind of, situation happens, main character takes care of it. Situation happens, internal struggles, external struggles, hero takes care of it. And that's kind of what's going on with these books. But the way Jack Carr puts it together, it's amazing. And at the end of last book, we are absolutely thrown a curveball, or I was. You read these books, you read books, and you're kind of like a little detective in your own mind, like, what's going to happen next? Let me see if I can figure out let me try to guess on what happens next. Oh, wow. At the end of the last book, I mean, it was just a curve ball, like a Nolan Ryan curve ball. I was not expecting that one. So this book starts off with Reese in prison. Yeah, he's in prison. There's a group of global elites called the deep state that is in control of everything. They're causing rapid inflation. They're causing riots in the streets, political division. It's basically what's going on in the world today. Jack Carr's talking about it. So this deep state knows that really and truly Reese is the only one that can bring them down. So they try to lock him up because they can't kill him. They've tried to kill him almost every book, and they can't kill him. So they get him in prison. They put him in prison. I don't want to give you too many spoilers. I don't even tell you why he's in prison. I want you to read it because it's amazing. But Alice, the cybercomputer, gets Reese released. And really, she's the reason why he's released. And being a cybercomputer, right, that can infiltrate any kind of system, your phones, your cameras, data, anything, it took her months to get Reese released. But so he's finally released. He comes out and he embarks on a mission to uncover this deep state. And in the deep state, of course, it's a deep state. The tentacles run deep. There's friends, there's enemies, there's just anybody is potentially in this deep state. And so Reese is doing what he can to figure out what's going on. And there's some hard parts in this book. There's some people that Reese really looked up to. That was a part of this deep state that he had to take care of, if you know what I mean. So it kind of starts off with an assassination in the late 70s of a freshman congressman that Reese's dad, Tom Reese, was intertwined with. I mean, he didn't have anything to do with the assassination. He was in with this congressman. So while he's uncovering this, a subplot in all of these books has been Reese's dad, Tom. And matter of fact, the 8th book, which comes out in June, is going to be about Tom Reese and his time at Vietnam. So Tom was killed under, weird circumstances. And so Reese James is trying to figure out what happened to Tom. And the more he's uncovering the deep state, the more he realizes that his dad was kind of doing the same thing, trying to keep the deep state down, trying to keep them situated and not a global threat. Well, we find out in earlier books that Tom left James, he left him a storage bin, had personal stuff, vehicles, guns, and stuff like that. But he left him a key to a lockbox with no identification on the key at all. Had no idea where the lockbox was. Didn't know which bank, where in the world it was. Well, in this book, we find the lockbox. He finds out which lockbox it is, which safety deposit box it is. He goes, gets it under duress, I should say. But Reese do what Reese do. He gets the information, and the information will totally upend the deep state and end them if it got out. So Reese gets this information, and he foils the deep state's plan again. He does what he does, and he goes after him, and he handles his business. I know I've probably said that quite a few times, but there's all these little twists and turns that even though the books follow a pattern, just the situations that Reese and his friends are put in, because he has a slew of people helping him. It's just so dynamic and so, you don't ever get bored reading these books, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't want to give too much away, so I'm just going to kind of end it right there as far as what's happened with this book. This whole series to me is a 5 out of 5. I have one more to review that's published, Red Sky Morning, and then I'll be patiently waiting on book 8 to come out. I got to do a summary on The Old Man and the Boy, a beautiful coming of age story of a man and his grandson hunting and fishing, stuff like that, just growing up, coming of age. And then I'll do the real Anthony Fauci, and that will, it's bad. It's if even things that I want to believe, I leave little doubt. So let's just say a quarter of this book is actual and factual. And he has, I don't want to get too deep in it, but he has hundreds of endnotes, but it's terrible. So if a quarter of this book is true, him and Gates, Fauci and Gates should be tarred and feathered. But that's coming. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for sticking with me with all these name changes. I'm learning. I'm trying to figure out how to film things. I'm just learning this whole thing. So I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you giving me a chance. If you stick with me, I promise I'll get better at it. But until next time, we'll see you.